Enable notifications by ringing the bell. So we just got done talking a whole heap and ton about music. So how are we going to solve this? By watching a trailer about a music group. I don't know where I was going to go with that.
So I have a question for you, Nate.
What's that?
Is this the real life?
Is this just fantasy?
Shouldn't have done that.
Nope. Hey, continue it down in the comment section. I want to see that comment thread. Every line, I want to see it. I want to see all the replies be nothing but song lyrics. And if there's one out of place, I'm gonna be mad. Like if there's someone down there, it's just like bump.
There's always the guy that's like first, and then he's like eighth. So I don't know if that'll work.
It's like
or
you
not.
son of a bitch.
If some guy can start the thread though, then they can just reply to it. Maybe it'll work out. Just make sure you go back and edit it if you
mess it up.
Yeah.
If you mess it up, just go back and fix it. But anyway, Bohemian Rhapsody, the Freddie Mercury biopic that has been through a multitude of developmental hells ever since the singer's unfortunate passing in 1991. They originally had the plans to do this early on in the 2000s, and they wanted Sacha Baron Cohen to portray Freddie Mercury, which, interesting, but they didn't have a director lined up. So Sacha Baron Cohen actually thought about directing the movie himself, because he's a talented guy. I think Sacha Baron Cohen's a fairly talented guy.
I've not thought of that. Like, he'd probably work.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you look at his Borat mustache, it's just like, I can see it. But anyway, enough time went by, and then Sacha Baron Cohen left the project, and then it fell onto Ben Whishaw to portray Freddie Mercury. Ben Whishaw have you seen the new Bond films with Daniel Craig?
I have not. I don't.
Okay, so...
Wait, no.
Have you seen...
I have, and I don't remember.
Oh, I know. Have you seen Skyfall?
That's
the one where he takes on... Javier Bardem, you know, the guy with the missing teeth.
I want to say that I missed that one.
Okay,
he was in Casino Royale though, correct? Like,
yeah, Casino Royale. Okay.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure that's the one that I saw, but I saw it when it came out in theaters, and I don't remember anything about it.
It's fine.
And I was planning to rewatch it because me and my buddy have actually watched all the way up to No World for Tomorrow now. I believe that's where we're at.
No.
Wrong title.
Let's see. The last one that wasn't Daniel Craig was Die Another Day. Right. The World Is Not Enough.
Yeah, the one after Goldeneye.
The World Is Not Enough.
Yeah.
That one's actually.
I think I just said a Coheed
and
Cambria title because my brain is weird.
No, because the one after it was with the stealth boat and Michelle Yeoh, and it was something with Tomorrow in it.
Tomorrow Never Dies.
Tomorrow Never Dies.
Okay. Yeah, because Pierce Brosnan was in 4.
Goldeneye, Tomorrow Never Dies, World Is Not Enough.
World Is Not Enough, and then
Tomorrow Never Dies, I guess, is the last.
Tomorrow Never Dies. Yeah, sorry, that one. Yeah, that one.
We took a break at that point because we just kind of burnt out watching all of them up to that point.
The World Is Not Enough. I'll say this: Denise Richards, a very attractive woman. Her character absolutely pointless. And honestly, what scientist is wearing that to go to a serious dig in? Come on, man. I know it's a Bond film, but fuck.
It's like dinosaurs and Cadillacs. Like the scientist in it, she's like, yeah.
Yeah,
ridiculous.
It's weird. It's weird. Okay, so anyway, the point of that was Ben Whishaw plays Q in the new Bond films, and he was signed on to play Freddie Mercury, but then he bowed out, and then all of a sudden Bryan Singer, fresh off of his triumphant return to film with X-Men: Days of Future Past, and X-Men Apocalypse, which X-Men Apocalypse not as good. Just gonna be honest. Anyway, Bryan Singer, fresh off of his return, decides, hey, I'm gonna take the reins and I'm gonna make sure that this film gets made. So it goes into production with Bryan Singer as director. But then everyone's wondering who's gonna play Freddie Mercury. And then it falls onto the very capable shoulders, I feel, of Rami Malek, who plays Mr. Robot. You ever seen Mr. Robot? Pretty good show, man. You should check it out. It's actually really, really good.
This is from the trailers. I've been thinking. I was like, wow, he makes a really good Freddie Mercury.
Well, yeah, he's got the jawline.
Yeah,
he's got the jawline, and actually, Rami Malek's actually a very talented. I've actually heard him play some music. He's actually pretty good too. So I was interested to see, but then I saw the first trailer and I saw like promotional imagery, and I'm like, wow, this is actually going to be really good. And then I heard Bryan Singer got ousted as being director because, from what I understand, he was very confrontational on set. So they fired him and hired a new director to come in. And I'm hoping everything turns out okay. But anyway, you've heard us talk enough about this random stuff. Let's see what the new Bohemian Rhapsody trailer has to offer. So many cats. Live Aid. The whole world was watching.
I enjoyed the show. I write songs. Our lead singer just quit. Then you'll need someone new.
I love the way you move on stage. The whole room belongs to you. Don't you see what you could be?
No one will play us on the radio.
We need to get experimental. Do it again. One more.
How many more Galileos do you want?
Roger, there's only room in this band for one hysterical queen. Mark these words. No one will play queen. Fortune favors the bold.
Freddie, concerning your private life.
What more do you need to know? I make music.
I want to give the audience a song that they can perform.
What's the lyric?
Ready, Freddie?
Let's do it.
You need to slow down, Fred.
I just need a bit of time. What if I don't have time?
You're a legend, Fred.
We're all legends.
Heck yeah.
Damn. So
I'm really excited for that.
I am too, man, because Freddie Mercury, my buddy John Hampton, a lot of people know him as the Backdoor Man with the Backdoor Plan, the bassist for Porno Arcade.
Okay.
Yeah, always having the mask on and all that. Yeah, he like me and him, we went on talking for a long time about Freddie Mercury and how great he was and everything. And me and him, we just kept going back and forth about things that we loved about Freddie Mercury. And the one thing about Freddie that surprised because of my dad, I was exposed to Queen, and me and my dad, like when we went on our road trips, I mean, we had Queen's Greatest Hits Volume 1 and 2. You know, it was, We Will Rock You, We Are the Champions, friggin' another one, Bites the Dust, Radio Gaga, Bohemian Rhapsody, just a multitude of just classic, hard rock tunes that just make your imagination soar and just make you just want to just get up and sing. I mean, it's some of the best stuff ever.
Yeah, like the thing about Queen is they are one of the bands that I am the most sad that is not still a band, that like Freddie isn't still around today and they're not still doing the things that they were doing because of the things that could have been.
Well, yeah, I mean,
because everything they did was just so unique. There's no band that I can think of that's done anything remotely like them since then.
Well, I agree in a lot of ways because Freddie in 1986, I believe, privately he was diagnosed with AIDS.
Yeah.
And he knew he had a limited timetable because even with treatments, what was available at the time, AZT and all the other, peptide T and several other things that you could take, They didn't have the cocktail like they have nowadays that can pretty much sustain you forever, you know, if you're able to afford it. But Freddie knew he had a limited amount of time left, and he knew he wanted to make that time worthwhile because he knew, well, yeah, I mean, everyone's number is up eventually. I mean, it's just like one of the last times you were here, we talked about Vinnie Paul, you know, everything that happened with him, you know, losing his brother on stage, and then going back to making music again, and then him dying 14 years later after his brother. I mean, and, you know, once again, when you talked about Pantera, that being another one of the, what could have been if only, you know, they'd have swallowed their pride and got back together, maybe Dime would still be here. Who knows? But Freddie, the one thing about Freddie Mercury is that I'm glad they're diving into his personal life, because a lot of people don't know that about Freddie. You know, everyone before he revealed it knew he was gay. Yeah. Everyone knew. It's just like Rob Halford. You know, when it came out that Rob Halford from Judas Priest was gay, like almost no one was surprised. Like some people were, but at the same time, it's just like the guy loved to dress up in leather and you know, ride around on a motorcycle and, you know, scream really loud and, you know, act very giddish whenever people are, you know, excited to be around him. I mean, like, people knew. And Freddie, the thing about Freddie Mercury is that privately he actually was, like, his one regret in life is that he could not love the woman that truly loved him. The woman that they're portraying in this, I forget her name now, but after Freddie, when Freddie died, he left everything to her. His house, his master recordings, everything. He left it all to her.
I didn't know that, actually.
Yeah, and he loved her. He loved her. He said he wished, but he was in a romantic relationship with her, but he was not fully physically attracted to her, and instead he preferred the company of men. In which, I'm glad they're portraying that too. I'm glad that they're portraying him as who he was, and not as this pseudo Hollywood version of a celebrity. You know, I know that they're probably going to take some dramatic leaps and liberties. But for me, knowing that Brian May and Roger Taylor and Deacon as well, they were all involved with the development of this. Yeah. And I'm happy to know that, and I'm happy to hear that they are very pleased with how the script turned out and how the movie has been pulled off so far.
That is exciting.
I'm happy to hear that, and
because we're gonna get probably a more genuine story of things that happened for that reason.
Well, yeah, and I'd love to know. I'd love to know the recording processes that, you know, and the creative process that Queen had and everything.
Yeah, I mean, just from that trailer, I could tell. Like, I'm already seeing things, and I'm like, oh, that's the way it happened. Like, that's so cool, you know?
Yeah, Micah, for you, the band Queen. I mean, what's one of the songs for you that really hits?
I don't know. I mean, I recognize a lot of their stuff. I mean, I like their sound. I think a lot of the weird thematic changes in the middle of the song kind of throw me for a loop. I don't really like that.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's fine.
I mean, like in Bohemian Rhapsody, like the Galileo part is kind of weird, I think.
Well, yeah, I mean, Freddie was always enticed by stuff like that.
We Are the Champions. I mean, that one's pretty cool.
Yeah.
When you asked him, I was just like, please say Fat Bottom Girls.
that one to me is like one of the most raw rock tunes out there. Fat Bottom Girls, you make the rockin' world go round. That to me is like one of my favorite songs by them.
If that had been Micah's choice, I would have been like, yes.
Yeah. You ever heard that song, Micah?
I know of it. I can't say that. I can't say I ever really realized that it was them. I'm horrible with, like, you know, hearing a song and saying, "Oh, it's this band." I mean,
that's fine. That's fine. I mean, it is what it is.
So here's the thing: is
go ahead.
I don't know how many people realize this, but all you ever hear about Queen is "We Will Rock You" and "We Are the Champions," Bohemian Rhapsody, and Fat Bottom Girls.
Their greatest hits.
But if you go back and listen to their other stuff, it's all good. Like,
well, yeah,
from what I've heard, and they were actually kind of like apparently like nerds and stuff too, because they have songs like Dragon Attack and like songs about like fairies and stuff.
Flash Gordon alone, the Flash Gordon soundtrack, that is a pure reflection of just how nerdy they are. I mean,
Oh, they also did Highlander, right?
yeah, they did.
okay.
They did. Who Wants to Live Forever? Yeah.
That was really cool because like they're basically like if we had been growing up in the same age, we probably would have been kind of like into the same stuff as they were.
Yeah. Yeah, and they
sounds
love.
like they were into the same stuff that we were kind of into. Like they might be into the same stuff that we're into now. Like if they were still, Freddie might be if he was still here, you know.
Yeah, and go ahead.
Speaking of nerd, a lot of I was actually kind of of course Flash Gordon I watched back in the day in Highlander, but I kind of became more aware of Queen because there's a series of games that was published by Atlas called the Ogre Battle Saga.
Yeah,
and
you told me
the
about
lead
those.
guy in that is a huge Queen fan, and he would kind of put references to their songs in a lot of like the addendums.
Nice.
So it'd be like Ogre Battle, March of the Black Queen.
Nice.
Heck yeah.
Nice, dude. And you see, I love the fact that, well, you know, you're never going to 100% love everything that the band is going to do, but
Right.
the fact that they reached you, the fact that they have that much reach and they have that much influence on so many people is just it's a statement. It's a statement that their work will last the test of time. It will stand the test of time. And I think 100 years from now, we're still going to be hearing Queen songs.
Yeah,
I still think that. I still believe that. I mean,
you still hear like their anthems on like trailers for stuff
Well-
today.
well, yeah, I mean,
new stuff coming out.
hell, dude, go to a stadium and whenever the team is coming out on the field, you hear.
Yep.
And it's just like the crowd gets into it too. So like everyone can play that song because it's very simple.
Yeah.
You just hear that and it's just like, oh, it gets you pumped. And
Yeah, 'cause I didn't think about the fact when he said in the trailer, he's like, I want to make a song that the crowd can perform. And I'm like,
oh yeah. And
Yeah,
Queen was always
makes
about
sense.
getting the crowd involved. That's just like their performance of Radio Gaga at Live Aid. Because in Radio Gaga, there's this little part, like it's it's supposed to be a rest, but they transformed it into something that the crowd could do along with it. It's like, all we hear is Radio Gaga, Radio Goo Goo, Radio blah blah. And they wanted the crowd to do that too, and it worked so well, and that's why Queen's performance at Live Aid is considered by many to be like the best concert performance by a group ever. And it's because for 20 minutes they enchanted the entire world. Like I think over 1 billion people watched that performance.
Wow.
That
Yeah.
is a scary amount of people. And you know what? The fact that this was done back in 1985, before the internet, before like the ease of use, because it's like, oh, 1 billion people have seen this news article. It's like, yeah, that's because you had the internet at your disposal. But this was a massively like broadcasted thing that everyone tuned into on their television sets and watched this. And there's one instance. I'm actually going to play this part. We might get a claim for it if we do. I don't care because I love this. I love this little vocal improv that Freddie does here. This is at Wembley. This was on their final tour because after 1986, Freddie decided that he would retire from touring and just dedicate himself to like recording new music because his illness was advancing at such a rate is where he knew he wouldn't be able to tour as much anymore. But anyway, this is Freddie Mercury playing with the Wembley crowd, their hometown crowd. And Freddie just does this with the crowd, and I don't think I've ever seen anyone else do this. Never in my life have I heard anything like this, or probably ever will hear again. I love this. It's one of my favorite moments of live performance ever. Take a sip of his water. And then here we go. I don't believe you, sir. Pretty much tells 80,000 people in Wembley Stadium to just fuck you. Hey, they kept up with him. I don't think I've ever seen any other singer do that.
Yeah.
I mean, in front of 80,000 people in Wembley Stadium, just lead them in a chant, in a random improvisation. I mean, he was known to do that at some places, but Wembley, it was another world. Like whenever, like in terms of the crowd getting involved.
Yeah.
Because they loved getting the crowd going because they knew that's how they would be remembered because the crowd would determine how they're remembered because people when they saw them live would just say that was probably the greatest live performance ever because they got us involved.
Yeah.
They included us with them. And it's just like, there you go. I love that stuff, dude.
Yeah, definitely cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, we've been going on this for another 20 minutes, so thank you all once again. Signing off, I'm Nate.
Micah.
Nick.
And we'll see you later, everyone. Peace out.